Okay, so hey, we want to give an update on the surrender process because
don't forget to look at the camera.
I am
okay.
Because we did that video of me on the beach saying, "Hey, we're letting go, we're surrendering. Woo, it's gonna be so fun." Well, actually, we were scared, and then you have the video of us our first day of surrender, having like a blast and like getting a ton of stuff done, and then you don't hear from us for a while.
Because
there's
the
a
shit
reason
went
for
down.
that. Bottom line is, we didn't know this at the time, but deciding you want to surrender is a great way to bring up all of your shadow. So the shadow stuff that I had to deal with.
What is shadow?
Shadow is basically like the opposite of your light. I mean, it's basically a lot of the things that you still need to work through. Like a lot of the challenges and issues that you still have that you may or may not be aware of right now. So one of the big ones that came up for me in the surrendering process was control, and this need to control. And I realized that I was controlling all the time. I would make like a seemingly innocent request to my husband that was like, "Hey, honey, when you're on your way down by the car, will you pick up my phone?" It's like, whoa. How annoying and manipulative and trying to seem like it's nice is that? Because the bottom line is, if he said no, I would have been mad. So
you mean you were trying to say it all nice?
I was trying to
manipulate him into doing it for you?
Exactly. Totally manipulative, totally controlling. So what happened was I started realizing that I was doing this all the time, and I got so annoyed with myself
Disgusted.
and just like oh gross, like, so I stopped talking for a few days.
She did.
And I was like, I'm not talking, because not everything, but a lot of things that wanted to come out of my mouth were basically these little tricky ways of trying to control and get what I wanted or thought that I needed.
Yeah.
So I just stopped talking, and that was really great, because what it did was it brought me so conscious and aware of those times without giving in to the urge to do that. So I stopped giving into the urge to do that, which is basically I stopped giving into the ego, and I'm much better about it now, which has been really helpful. So for me, surrender meant surrender your need to control everything and everyone. And I realized that the reason why I felt like I needed to control everything was because I was scared. I was so fearful that if I didn't control it, if I didn't manipulate my environment and what was happening, that I wouldn't get what I needed. And so what is that? That's like a survival thing. Like, oh my gosh, well, what if I don't get what I need? Then what's going to happen? So I was living in this like total survival mode all the time.
What would have happened if you didn't get what you needed?
Well, the irrational mind goes to, I'm not going to survive. If I don't get so-and-so to do this for me, then I won't be able to make money, and then I won't be able to eat, and then I'll die. I mean, I'm giving like a process. It's obviously, I wasn't conscious of any of this on the surface, but really that's where it goes. Like, I was afraid of death. I mean, in a way. I mean,
well, it sounds funny, but every time we track a worry or a fear, it always goes back to three things: your fear of being alone, fear of dying, and fear that there's no God.
Which is kind of fear of being alone, the same thing.
Yeah.
Because you're afraid that there's no God, and if you're alone, then you're really screwed. So anyways, we can talk another time about that. But that was what came up for me. What came up for my husband, I can let him talk, but is the shadow side of surrender, which is sloth. And we just love the word sloth. But sloth is like...
Padma Ayan calls it sloth in the book The Christ Consciousness.
The Christ Blueprint. Yeah. But basically, the ego's like, sweet! We don't have to do anything!
Right.
We can just hang out and do nothing!
Right. Surrender means do nothing. Which means...
is a misinterpretation.
Right.
Right. So that's what came up there, and we could do another blog on that because it's really interesting.
Well, what ended up happening, though, I think, which is something that we can share, is like we have this business that we're all creating together, and it he's sort of been the head visionary, and he decided not to do it, and so it was like off. Like this big thing we've been creating was just off. It was like, okay, we're not going to do it, and then it was back on. And then sloth would come up and it'd be like, it's off, it's off.
Well, and sloth is fear too, because sloth is basically fear of his own light. It's fear of his own greatness. Like, because you're gonna put yourself out there. What
Well,
are
isn't
people
that what
gonna
all
say?
shadow is really? Is like this fear of the light coming out?
Yeah. I'd say that's pretty accurate.
So we went through a lot of shadow.
A lot of shadow.
Now we call it man down.
Man down.
Like if someone's going through shadow, it's like, oh damn, man down. Man down.
But it's been so amazing because I feel like all of us have a new level of clarity and
Totally.
perceptiveness and humility.
Humility.
I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Kind of got pulled through the ringer.
Yeah.
I have another one too, but that came up. But we'll do it on another blog.
Okay. Just, watch the next one.